Hi, this is Mr. Jamie Cohen reporting a podcast for Siddhartha, Chapter 5. Chapter 5 begins titled Kamala. Siddhartha learned something new on every step of his path, for the world was transformed and his heart was enchanted. It says that he goes on to seize the star in the sky in their fixed positions and the crescent of the moon like a boat in the blue. He saw trees, stars, animals, clouds, rainbows, rocks, herbs, flowers, stream and river, the glistening dew and the bushes in the morning, distant high mountains which were blue and pale, birds sang and bees. He saw the world differently, and students are asking, what does it mean by differently? Is it physically different or emotionally different? Well, I think what's happened is he has experienced the world in a way that, being deep in meditation on the path of the samana, he never really got to allowed himself to experience in the way of the visual sensations of the world. This particular chapter focuses on the visual. In a sense, the shallowness of the visual sense. It is a form of awakening, but it's an awakening on the surface, through sight, not deep in terms of his heart. Words like beautiful are used, colorful are used. A student asks, what does it mean when it says colorful? Colorful, another way of saying, would be vivid, beautiful, full of light, full of positive energy. Another student asks, what does it mean when it says thousandfold? Thousandfold is really multiple times over, or multidimensional. Another student asks, what is the Bodhi tree and what is its significance? Well, the Bodhi tree is symbolic of being awakened. This tree is significant in both Hinduism and Buddhism specifically because the historic Buddha entered enlightenment under the leaves of a Bodhi tree in 528 BC. Also, this particular tree in the scientific world has spiritual associations. It's referred to as religious fig. The Bodhi tree is sacred in India, and it is said to be the descendant of the original tree where the Buddha experienced spiritual awakening. Another student asks, when Siddhartha is tempted by the young woman in the village by the stream, what stops him from taking up her offer for a physical relationship? Well, Siddhartha rejects this temptation because his inner voice tells him simply no, don't do it. In a way, that inner voice is his conscience or his moral guide. He rejects her despite desiring her, which shows us that he has an awareness of the difference between obeying one's inner voice and going or allowing yourself to give in to the animal level impulse of lust. Another idea that people are asking about is, why is Siddhartha going down this path? Well, Siddhartha is seeking meaning in the world of the external, which is really the opposite of his exploration of the inner world. So the external world is really his senses. In this case, we're seeing his visual and also his feeling of lust. And he's moving away from the spiritual world, which is what he had pursued with the samanas. And another way of saying it is he's looking to, quote, allow the world to influence him, though he always maintains 1 foot in and 1 foot out of this world. Now, although he has rejected spiritual teachers, he seems to want to first seek out and then he accepts a teacher of desire in Kamala. He consciously decides to follow her teachings. Now Siddhartha is not an innocent, and neither is he willing to passively accept whatever sexual or love experiences fall into his lap. And an example of that is, as just mentioned, he refused the young lady by the river. This chapter is a transitional moment from his aesthetic life of the samanas toward a new life of external desires. There's an interesting dream of Siddhartha dreaming of Govinda turning into a woman. And this specifically marks his move from an extreme aesthetic existence, which he once shared with Govinda, into a new life in pursuit of pleasure, which he will share with Kamala. Another question: is Siddhartha still considered a samana when he is referred to as "you too samana"? Well, he is, because of the way he dresses and because of the way he looks. He's dressed in virtually no clothes, or of anything, rags. His hair is wild. He has a full unkept beard. And the city life that he now attains, which he aspires to attain success in, you are judged by what you wear and how you carry yourself in this world. So appearances are important. External appearances are important. So he is judged by the way he looks, and he looks like a samana. Why does Kamala care so much about outer appearances? Well, first of all, Kamala is a courtesan, which is a prostitute for wealthy people, wealthy men. So her profession is based on superficial material existence. And in order to fit in order to be accepted in this world, or to be successful in business, you have to look like a success according to the city norms. There's a cliche that says, if in Rome, dress and act like the Romans. And that, in a sense, is what he's doing. In order to fit into this world, he shaves his beard, he trims his hair, and he transforms himself in order to fit into the material world. Outer appearances are an important part of fitting into this world, which Siddhartha now devotes himself to with religious-like commitment. Siddhartha follows Kamala's advice and does not beg for work, but instead acts in a manner that requires Kamaswami, the successful merchant and businessman, to treat him respectfully. Kamaswami quizzes Siddhartha about his desire to become a businessman, not expecting much based on his looks, because he looks like a samana. He even calls him a stupid samana. When Siddhartha answers honestly, he shows that he can read and write. He shows that he has a quick wit. And he shows that he's not afraid to back down from Kamaswami. And this impresses Kamaswami, who in some ways is a type A alpha male, and he takes on Siddhartha as a protege. A student asks, why couldn't Siddhartha say that he writes poetry when asked right away? Because of all the answers, this is the one that makes the most sense in terms of his ability to make money. Well, he's being honest, and he feels that being able to fast and be patient are more valuable than being able to write poetry, because it shows his commitment, his dedication, and his single-minded pursuit toward a cause. Why does Kamala need Siddhartha to become rich and famous and to wear nice clothes to be right for her? Well, the last part of the question isn't quite accurate, to be right for her, which assumes that there's a love relationship